I'm sorry, you're the chair.
Yes, thank you very much, and I'll recognize myself for questions. I want to thank all of you for being here. This is an issue that our healthcare marketplace has struggled with for many years. And Dr. McDonough, I do want to come to you first, because in Tennessee, where I represent, since 2010, we have had 120 of our independent pharmacies close. And this is tragic. Many times that pharmacy is the only access point for health care in these communities. And to a pharmacy, when I go in and talk with these individuals, and I'm in each of our 95 counties every year, and they will talk about how horribly they were treated by the PBMs. So I'd like for you just to talk about, for just 30 seconds, about how growth and consolidation around this PBM model has strangled not only you, but other independent pharmacies.
My fellow patriots, today we need to talk about something that hits home for every American who values freedom, community, and small business: the complete and utter destruction of our independent pharmacies by corporate middlemen and unchecked bureaucracy. This isn't just another boring healthcare hearing on Capitol Hill. What we just heard from Senator Marsha Blackburn and real-world pharmacists is a wake-up call. Since 2010, 120 independent pharmacies in Tennessee alone gone, shut down, locked up, lights off. These aren't just businesses. They are the heartbeat of rural America. And guess who's behind it? It's not market forces. It's not the economy. It's pharmacy benefit managers, PBMs.
You know, when we saw the chart that showed the $7.3 billion in profits that the PBM industry is making, I can guarantee you during that same time, from 2017 to 2022, we just saw our profits going down to the point where we have no profits. We're being squeezed. And that's very concerning to me, because when we lose that community pharmacy, whether it's in an urban area where they might be the community pharmacy for that area, or in a rural area that we're in, they ain't coming back. I've had so many mayors and city managers and towns come to me and saying, will you open up a pharmacy? I'm like, we can't. Yeah. We can't afford to. So it has had dramatic impact on us to the point where now we've closed a pharmacy and converted another one to a hybrid telepharmacy, and that's still struggling. And I want to make it clear, it's not because we're bad business people. I want to make that perfectly clear. It's because we are not making any money on the drug, let alone the services that we provide to the patient to ensure that patient is achieving a therapeutic outcome with that medication. So we're losing it twice. We're losing it on the drug side, and we're losing it on the service side. There's no way.
You're right about that. I want to talk about bad actors with Mr. Scott for a few moments. We recently had the Department of Commerce and Insurance in Tennessee do a report that gave us some really disturbing information on one PBM in Tennessee. And what they found was that they were forcing these independent pharmacies, the non-affiliated, to pay a higher inflated rate on over 550 drugs. And they profited more than $30 million through spread pricing. Now, this gets to my first point about those 120 independent pharmacies that we have lost in Tennessee. Now, this same PBM failed to reimburse 265 pharmacy claims within the legally set 7-day business day period. And that impacted 40 separate pharmacies in the state. You know, it doesn't take a lot to connect the dots on this, and there are so many examples of these egregious practices. For the purpose of this hearing, I've given you one finding from this report. And what we have seen is, you talk about transparency, we don't have it. And it is insulting to patients and to pharmacies and pharmacists and to these independent pharmacies. So talk to me about how a $30 million spread and delayed reimbursement for pharmacy claims meets the transparency standards you claim the PBMs are putting in place.
Thank you, Senator Blackburn. I can't speak specifically to the individualized example, but I can cite to another report that was recently produced by Dr. Carlton from the University of Chicago, looking at these questions and using the exact same data set that's been submitted to the FTC for their ongoing study. And the conclusion was that unaffiliated pharmacies are not being paid less than affiliated pharmacies.
Well, I will tell you in Tennessee that is not the case. And if you would like to see the study, I would be more than happy to submit it to you.
I will certainly take a look at it, Senator. If I could make 2 quick points.
Very quickly, my time's expired.
The practice of affiliation is not unique. Hospitals, wholesalers, grocery stores, Amazon, others are all partnering with pharmacies in order to provide that efficiency of care. And the other is, this same point has been made a couple of times, paying pharmacists to be able to do more services for patients is something that we really strongly support, and there's legislation.
Do you support that like you support the hike in administrative fees that your pharmacies have put in place? They have doubled. Doubled? You've got administrative fees for prescriber education, medication adherence, data analytics, pardon me, and these have increased 51%, 3.8 to 5.7 billion in a 2-year period of time. If I had my way, I'd do away
Senator
with
Blumenthal.
PBMs.
These bloated, backroom dealing, profit-driven corporations are bleeding our community pharmacies dry. And they're doing it in the shadows with the blessing of DC insiders and big healthcare. Let's break it down. PBMs made $7.3 billion in profits from 2017 to 2022. That's right, billions, while our independent pharmacists are watching their profits disappear. Not shrink, not slow, vanish. These local heroes are losing money twice once on the medication, and again on the services they provide to patients. Now you tell me, how is that competition? How is that efficiency? That's not capitalism. That's cartel capitalism. A monopoly with a smile and a legal team. Let me ask you something. When a local pharmacy closes in a rural town, what happens? You lose access to medication, to advice, to a healthcare provider who knows your name. There is no CVS coming in to replace it. No Walgreens. Those corporate chains don't care about your hometown. They care about profit. Senator Blackburn made it clear these pharmacies aren't coming back. And she's absolutely right. I've talked to mayors and county commissioners myself. They beg someone to open a pharmacy, but no one can afford it anymore. Why? Because PBMs have rigged the system. Let's talk about spread pricing. That's where a PBM charges insurance companies one price, pays the pharmacy a lower price, and pockets a difference. In Tennessee, one PBM did this with over 550 drugs, raking in $30 million in profit, while delaying 265 pharmacy reimbursements and hurting 40 pharmacies. You couldn't make this up if you tried. So much for helping patients. This is robbery with a corporate logo. When asked about transparency, the PBM rep dodged like a professional politician, cited a report from the University of Chicago, the ivory tower academic crowd. But Senator Blackburn wasn't having it. She said flat out, that's not the case in Tennessee. And I believe her. I believe the people on the ground, not some big city academic study funded by the same corporations destroying our communities. Now get this, these PBMs are charging more administrative fees than ever before, doubling them in just 2 years. These aren't fees for life-saving care. Mind you, they're for data analytics, education, and adherence programs. Bureaucratic gobbledygook. From $3.8 billion to $5.7 billion in fees in 2 years. That's not healthcare. That's extortion dressed up in spreadsheets. So what do? First, we stand with our independent pharmacies. These are small business owners. Patriots. People who serve veterans, families, seniors, the lifeblood of our towns. Second, we demand transparency. Every dollar these PBMs touch should be traceable. No more shady middlemen profiting off the backs of patients and providers. Third, we return power to states. Washington bureaucrats won't fix this. But Tennessee can. Texas can. Florida can. Let the states lead. And lastly, we hold the corporate class accountable. The same people who claim to care about health equity are the ones destroying access in the poorest communities. My fellow Americans, this isn't just about pharmacies. This is about freedom. This is about fighting back against the corporate overreach that threatens every corner of our nation. If we don't protect our independent pharmacists today, we will wake up tomorrow in a country where every aspect of your healthcare is decided by someone sitting in a glass tower, counting their bonuses while you wait in line for insulin that costs $500. Subscribe, share, stand up. This is the fight for our communities. This is a fight for America. And together, we will take our country back.